everyone. Hello. Hope you are doing wonderful because today it's gonna be awesome. Hey everyone, my name is Tia Joy, and everyone who is new or a returner, I'm so glad that you guys are here for today's video. I hope you all have been having a wonderful week, because I know I have, and it's been great. It's been nice, sunny, beautiful, and just getting all that going on with myself. So I am loving it. I hope you are too. If you have not seen my video from last week, I did the Madea's Farewell Play Tour versus Madea's Homecoming, which was absolutely awesome. If you have not seen it yet, don't worry. Here's a little clip. Check it out. That he do that even with the gum, and then I remember when we went to the play, the one in Georgia, like one of the mics was not working, and so he was like, "Go back. These people pay so much money, and the mics ain't working. You need to go back. Let's do this again." So I just really love that we get to see the raw, the authentic of the acting and the cast in the play versus the movie. You don't really see that too much. I mean, I'm pretty sure you can see the deleted scenes and you can see the blooper scenes, you know, in the movie, but at the end. But when it comes to the play, you get to see it along the way, and it just makes it so much greater and richer. And I believe, and it was so cool when we went to the one, I think Monica was there, and she was able to sing her song, and my bestie was like, "Oh my gosh, it's Monica!" But we was at the top floor, so we couldn't be able to see it, but we heard her, and she killed every single note. So that was really fun. So if you want to see more of that, I'll have the link above. And that was my very first Tyler Perry review, because I've been doing all these movies and stuff like that, these dances and stuff like that, and I have not gotten to Tyler Perry, and I love Tyler Perry, and I love his movies, I love his plays, I love his shows, the have and have nots, y'all. If you are on that, if you love the have and have nots, let me hear you say hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Yo, that show was everything. That and If Loving You Was Wrong. I was a faithful watcher, yo, and I'm so mad it's off, but it's okay. But at the end of the day, that was like the show. Tyler Perry. But today we are going to get into me reviewing on a Madea's Family Funeral, which is super funny. I love this movie so much. But before I get into that, I need you guys to do a couple things. Number one, I have books that I'm selling on Amazon, and so I have the Make Wise Choices journal, I have a notebook and a planner. So if you're into journaling, I have that for you. If you want to take better notes this year, I got a notebook and a planner, so that way everything from 2022 will be planned and in order and organized and on track of where you're trying to go. I have that available. Plus I also have some financial books, so if you want to get better at being a better steward of your money, I have financial books that's available for you so you can keep track. And also I have Tithes and Offering Tracker book as well if you love doing that. And all of these books are perfect for when you're going to file your taxes for 2023 or for the 2022 year. So these books are great, so that way you can keep track of your money. And not only do I have those, but I also have prayer journals. So if you want to update your prayer life with God, I have that, not just for the women, but I also have for the mighty men of the Lord and the beautiful obedient children. I have one for you too. And plus I have a gratitude book, so if you want to be more grateful this year and write that down, I got that for you as well. And all of that is available for Amazon, and it's great for you. You can also buy it as gifts for your friends or family or co-workers, whatever. Go and get them right now. They're available on Amazon, and I'll have the links in the description box. And lastly, what I need you to do, I feel like I'm saying a whole lot, but it's okay, because you need all this info. I'm trying to help you here so you can make wise choices this year, period. But one of the wise choices that I need you to do, if you've been looking at my video so far, honey, and if you have not been a subscriber yet, hit that subscribe button below, and plus hit the bell and turn on your notifications, so that way you can be in the know when I upload a new video. Madea's Family Funeral, OMG, yo, I don't know why I love this movie so much. I don't know, maybe because of Rome Flynn, I don't know if it's because of Uncle Heath Heathrow, Joe, Madea, Hattie, Bam. I don't know why I love this movie so much, but I know this movie was hilarious. And so I'm gonna automatically just dig right in and tell you some of my favorite scenes. So I definitely have like a couple scenes. The whole movie is funny. I don't care what anyone says. It's hilarious. And it has some great lessons with it. I definitely will get into. There's two main ones that I definitely will talk about that I definitely have learned and grown into, most definitely. But before I get to that, so my favorite scenes that I love for the movie, and if you have some, if you like what you see, first of all, if you like what you see so far in here, hit that like button. But not only that, if you have some favorite scenes that you have from the movie, make sure you hit the comments below, because this movie, oh my gosh, it was just so funny. First of all, okay, Heathrow. I like the fact that I didn't even know Madea and Joe had another brother, but to know that they had a brother and he's like so-called served in the military, lost his legs, he got this Jerry curl in that one tooth, and then of course, because he's supposed to lie, he got the little mic so that way they can hear him talk. Yo, that was so funny, especially when Uncle Joe was on the phone with them, and he was like, "Oh, that do tickle." Like I was like, that was super funny. And like I also like the scene when they were driving and Brian was trying to teach her how to obey the law. That was so funny. And I didn't even expect Eddie to be the cop, because if you've seen If Love You Is Wrong, you know Eddie is crazy. Yo, there were times when I was watching that show, I was like, yo, Eddie needs to get a lesson learned, because that dude was ruthless. And they say if you watch a character and they make you mad, you know they have done their job at acting, because they really makes you like, oh, I couldn't stand Eddie. But in this one, he was crazy. But that whole scene right there in the car, and they're trying to put their hands out because they didn't want to get caught. Yo, that was super funny. And Hattie, who was like crazy. OMG. But my other favorite scene I like also is at the hospital when, yo, I was dying laughing every time they would try to say something, and Medea's like, shh, like Hirsch, like they don't need to know. And then when she slapped Hattie, I was gone. She's like, dang, Mom, like what you hitting up? Like it's so funny. But then when she hit Joe, his teeth fell out. Yo, I was gone. I was like, yo, that tickled, because I was like, I'm at his whole teeth, all his denture just fell out in his head. Yo, that scene was funny. But I think the biggest scene that I loved the most was the funeral. The funeral was absolutely crazy. Actually, if I ever go to a funeral, I'll probably go to a funeral just to sit in the bleachers and just laugh at how crazy. First of all, Heathrow trying to sing Down by the Riverside off key, number one. Then you got Joe talking while they're singing in the midst, being all loud, and Brian was like, dang, shh, because he was so loud. Because he was so annoyed because he didn't want to be there. Yo, when I saw that, I was gone. I was like, Brian, I was like, Uncle Joe, he was just so crazy. And then when they got the girl, he was like, yep, she's trying to play it hard to get. Yup. He was just so stupid. Like, OMG. And that whole funeral, as you can see the time, like each person that goes, and then the time just keep clicking. Like, yo, ain't nobody, like, I don't know what time it was when they started. It had to be like 7 o'clock, but the fact that when you get to the end, it's like almost like 8:30 p.m., close, something like that. But when I saw that, yo, I was gone. I was like, yo, this funeral was super long. Yo, that was just too much, man. That scene, and then you had Christine, Mr. Sister Charlene singing, and then you had every single person going up and talking, and then she's like, 2 minutes, you taking too long, and I don't want y'all to sing long like these heavenly people are saying. You trying so hard not to cuss, but I would think I would see Madea at a church, because you know throughout all the plays when you hear Madea talk, Madea ain't gonna go to church unless there's a smoking section. So the fact that Madea is at a church, you know that that something really had to happen for Madea to be the mistress of service in order to go to church. So yo, that was just too funny. And then Heathrow trying to go to the bathroom, like, yo, like, and then the people just falling asleep. But the one that got me is when he was like, if you knew Anthony biblically raise your hand, and all the people, he's like, you knew if all the family on this side and just majority of everybody, yo, like that was just too crazy. But yo, this whole movie was just so great. I mean, it just tickled, because it's like every time you just build up to something else, it was just really, really funny. But I would definitely say the lesson there's two lessons that I definitely learned in this movie that I really like. But before I get to that, I also forgot there was another part. I never seen Madea so calm, especially the part where she went up the stairs and she was like, like, you know, dang, what, Madea, don't be doing that. Like, but the fact that she did it, she's grieving. Hey, like, I was like, I cannot. Like, I'm sorry. And you know, something about me is I laugh at the most smallest things, because to me it's just so funny. So when you see it, it's like, it's so random, because you know there's some scenes in movies where it's like it's funny, but I laugh at the most smallest things. So even that part, like the whole hey, was just too funny, because you know they was going up the stairs, they was loud and crazy. She's like, shut up, like she's trying to grieve because your daddy's dead. So she's like, and then go to all of that, and then it's like, hey, like I was like, I'm so done, Tyler. Anyways, but into my lessons. Okay, I'm staying focused, because y'all, I can go all over the place. But the lesson I definitely learned is, I would say, the lesson number one is remove the speck from your eye before you remove somebody else's. And the reason why I say that is because, as you see in the movie, AJ, he has this thing where he really trying to get someone in check. And it's like, bro, like, how are you going to sit there and tell somebody else what they need to do, and you ain't even doing what you're supposed to do, right? And so I don't know why. And sometimes if we stop and think and ask ourselves, like, okay, if we're really mad at somebody because of what they're doing, we should get to a place to ask ourselves, do I do that? And definitely in this movie, like, I felt like AJ should have done that, because it's so funny how he's looking at Renee and like, Renee, like, you doing wrong, like, why are you doing this and why you do that? And it's like, but look at what you're doing. So how you gonna sit there trying to tell her she wrong what she doing, and you ain't doing what you supposed to do? How you gonna say, oh, he's a married man and why are you doing this? But it's like, but you a married man too, so why are you doing what you need to do? And it's just crazy how we get to this place, how we always want to get, not always, I'm gonna take that back. It's crazy how we get into a position that we want to correct somebody and what they need to do, but if we're doing it too, how are we entitled or ordained to tell somebody what they need to do? Like, it doesn't make any sense. My thing is, if you are doing the same thing, first of all, remove it from yourself, fix it for yourself, work on it for yourself, and once you get yourself corrected, once you go through the process of doing what you're supposed to do to remove that, now you can help somebody else to free them. But if you're not free from it, how you gonna free somebody else? Because to you look like Two-Face. You're not even walking what you're walking. You know what I mean? And so I just thought that was crazy. But the lesson I learned is just like, don't try to check somebody if you ain't checking, you know? And I learned that for myself. Like, I learned not to give anything out if I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? Because sometimes we have to learn how to walk what we preach. And if we ain't walking what we preach, then we need to close the book and close the sermon and put the notes away. You know what I'm saying? So that's a lesson I definitely learned, is remove the speck from your eye before you remove somebody else's. Lesson number one. Lesson number two. Now, this lesson is probably like the most powerful lesson, and this is probably like the most powerful, amazing one, period. And I have to go definitely to the scene when Diane, when she was explaining to the kids, because first of all, number one, and I know it's just a movie, but I don't care, because actually kids actually do these to their parents. It's talking back and calling them names and being super disrespectful, which is absolutely out of line. That is not what we came in this world to do, is to be telling our parents what they should do. I get it, we're born, and the first thing we need is food and Google and Gaga and all this attention and boo-boo and all that other stuff. But just because we had all that attention when we were babies and our parents gave us what we need doesn't mean that they're slaves to us. And they got to do what we say, and they got to buy things that we need to buy. And then on top of that, I'm so grateful. My parents didn't give me no allowance to clean the dishes, to wash clothes, to go mow the lawn. Like, nah. the least we could do is do those things, especially since they pay for your clothes, pay for your some place to sleep, they pay for you to have food to eat, they pay for you to have utensils and things for school, they take you out to eat, they pay for your cell phone bill, they pay for the light bill, the gas bill, the place that you live. The fact that they do all of this stuff and they got to give you allowance to pay them to be paid to do all this extra stuff. Oh heck no. I'm so glad my parents did not do that. It's like an honor to even do those things, because of the fact that so much that our parents do and sacrifice for us that we don't even take in consideration to say thank you for. But as you see, as that scene, what was disrespectful is the fact that he called his mother weak because he know that his daddy was doing things that wasn't right, and she stayed. And it's like, you weak. You let him walk out, and then and now you letting Renee walk out. You so weak. And it's like, that's just out of line. If I ever said, first of all, I can't even imagine. I really can't even imagine. I can't even imagine talking to my mama like that. Like, I don't even know what the result is going to be. I don't even know how in the world she's going to respond. But I won't even want to test those waters. Sister girl ain't doing that, because I honor my mama as respected. Period. And since it is, Women's Month, honoring women and how strong they are, and even hearing what Diane had to say to her kids about what she went through, it just put into the lesson of don't judge, but get to know your parents. That's the lesson. Because sometimes us children, we walk around judging our parents, but we don't even know their story. Just because we came into the world doesn't mean it's the first time our parents has been alive. They have a story. And me, I'm grateful I got a chance to get to know my parents. I asked them how they were in high school. I asked them how they were in middle school. I asked them what did they deal with? Like, did they have issues with bullying? Were they popular? Were they nerds? Were they dorks? Like, I asked all these questions. I wanted to know my parents, because our parents have a story. And sometimes the way they treat us as far as the direction they want us to go is because by us being born, by us being here, we can pretty much give them another chance to do what was right in their eyes. Because maybe they made some mistakes and maybe they did some things that they didn't want to do. But seeing us and and when they're correcting us and saying don't do that, they're not saying it because they want to hurt you. They may be saying it's because maybe they're seeing a repeat and they want to stop it from happening. No matter if it's your parents or your guardians or whatever, there's something that we do that's causing to get a place of hold on, stop, like think about it first, because they want to give you an opportunity to not do the same things that they have. But in the end of the day, by her expressing and sharing with her kids, now when AJ heard his mother's story, now he's feeling like, dang, like she went through all of that for me. She stayed with my dad and kept her mouth closed to make sure I had food to eat, make sure I had a place to stay, make sure I had clothes on my back. Now he started to see I should respect her more, because when his mom was like, you act just like that, he's like, I ain't nothing like him, I ain't nothing like that. But she's like, oh really? Well, you're doing what he's doing because this is why. And now he's like, dang, I am like my dad. And it's crazy. But that's why it's so important that we get to know our parents. I love my parents' story. I love hearing how their childhood is. And on top of that, maybe if you get to a place of getting to know them, you may find out that some of the things that they struggled with, that by them, first of all, number one, by them opening up, it can bring healing, and you never know. Like if they're seeing like, wow, like by them repeating and going over and remembering what they went through, maybe they can come back, they can realize maybe some things that they still haven't dealt with that they could deal with in that moment. Or maybe you as a child who's hearing that, maybe you can see some things that you can relate to, because remember, we are seeds of our parents. So there's nothing that we go through that there's a possibility our parents haven't gone through yet. There may be some similarities, but if we stop and talk and get to know our parents and have that conversation, we can learn. And so that's the biggest thing, most definitely, I would say, that I learned, which is great because I've walked that. But I am super, super grateful that I took the time to do that. And I'm so glad I did, because now I know my parents more and I understand my parents more. And I also know where they came from and how they grew up and what it's like. And I just think it's wonderful that after everything that they've done for us, I think it's wonderful that us children can take the time and learn and hear from our parents and hear what they have to say, because they can say they have some wise things that can help us. And so, but we have to get ourselves in position of not having that mindset of, I want my parents to do this and this and this for me, and not stop to thinking, okay, first of all, what can I do for my parents, number one? And number two, how are they stored? Like, if you're going through something, you know, and I know some of us children, we don't want to talk to our parents because we don't know how to communicate or what to say, but you just never know. And and I know for me to be able to have these conversations with my parents, I'm able to connect even more with them. But just to see how strong she was as a woman, to swallow her pride and do what she needed to do, take care of her kids, that is some strict love. And the best thing that AJ most definitely could have done was be a little bit more respectful. You know what I'm saying? Because that was just a little bit like, bruh, I know, like I said, I know it's just a movie, but there are kids out there who's just really just too disrespectful to their parents. I hear it. I hear it in the hallways. I hear it at the grocery store. Like, it's ridiculous. And it's like, if only you knew what your parents sacrificed for you to have, so you can have what you need, you would actually respect them more. And the only way we're going to know that is once we get ourselves in that position of becoming parents and knowing what we have to go through to make sure our child has what they need, especially since they can't do nothing. When they're babies, they can't do nothing. You got to do everything for them. You got to cook for them. You got to change their diapers. You got to take them to the pot, all that stuff, because they can't do it themselves. So that's mostly definitely the lesson that I learned, and hopefully it can help someone out there, and you know, you as a parent, but most definitely as us children. Like, it's just very, very important that we respect our parents, respect our fathers, respect our mother. And the fact, crazy enough to stay in the marriage even though she knew what was going on, that's even stronger, because technically in the word it does say, if a man sleeps with another woman or commit adultery, you have the right to divorce, you have a right to walk away. But for her to stay anyway and to still be married all the way, that speech that you say when you get married, till death do you part, she kept her vows. So when Diane was free, honey, she was free. She was like, well, I did my job all the way to the end. And that's why Madea was like, who has a funeral so quickly? Because she was like, well, he dead. I can't do nothing. Let's get this thing over with so I can move on with my life, because I dealt with him for years. I stayed. I did my part. I completed till our vows. It's time to skip down and jump on out of here. wonderful Wizard of Oz. Let's go. Let's all ease on down the road out of here. But anyway, but those are the lessons that I learned, most definitely. So hopefully these could be lessons for you to help you make wise choices. But that's all that I have. If you definitely like this video as much as I love the video, I think my own video is great. I don't know about you. I be liking my own videos because I got so many things to say, okay? And I be having fun, okay? So much fun. But if you like the video, definitely hit the like button. I also love you to become part of the fam, and definitely put in the comments, what is your favorite scenes? Did you find those lessons in this while you're watching the movie? If not, peekaboo, what's up? So go ahead and put the comments below. I'd love to hear what you have to say, and also hit the bell and turn that notification on so instantly be notified when I upload a new content. Tyler Perry, you did it again. Love you, even though this was like back in like, what was it, 2019? It doesn't matter. It was still a great movie. I loved it. Period. But keep doing your thing, Tyler Perry. We love you. We support you, and you know, it's great. I'm glad Madea is back. Madea is hilarious and have great life lessons, even though Madea had her own thing she dealing with. But I could definitely say there's some great lessons. So thank you so much, you guys, for watching. Definitely check out the other videos that I have available, and make sure also you purchase your book so that way you can be on track on the road to making wise choices and completing your goals, your dreams, ambitions, affirmations, whatever you need for this year, so you can come out successful and better than what you went through last year, and even more confident and on top. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll definitely see you all in the next video, and I hope you guys don't just make good choices, honey. But what?